Buy your tickets ahead of time at sideshowspirits.com.
Machinist, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinist. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at GarnerIndustries.com.
Interested in installing solar panels in Nebraska? There's a name you need to know. Solar by Alpine Electric is based out of Lincoln, and you can be sure your project will be handled with care and detail because Rick, the owner of Solar by Alpine Electric, will be involved in the entire process from start to finish. We're an REC Solar Certified Pro installer and handle jobs in Lincoln and the surrounding area. Let us show you real-time results in your area. Call Rick today at 402-440-4371. Solar by Alpine Electric.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality. Buffet 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it. A happy Tuesday to you and yours. First day of the week that we're with you. Again, a big thank you to all our families who have sent their loved ones over to the military service for everything that they've done. And we remember yesterday all those who paid that ultimate price. So we can be here doing what we do, enjoying our freedoms and talking about sports. I'm Austin Norman, joined on the stream by Mr. Eric Strickland. Strick, what's up? How you doing?
Man, grateful. As you said, my father had served 21 years, as well as I've had friends and other family members. Just grateful for the wonderful work that they continue to do in their service to us and our country to allow us to have the freedoms that we have. So truly a great celebration on yesterday for those individuals. We're grateful for them. And it just seems like the months just continue to roll on.
We're already in May, but we'd be remiss if we didn't say we're also grateful in a much different way to Mary Ellen's Charles and his crew down there at 27th and Pine Lake for the great work they do in keeping us fed in the Lincoln community, especially down south. Stop by, check them out starting on Wednesday. Lots to get to, Strick. Busy, long weekend. We're going to be pretty NBA heavy here in this first hour. Plenty of headlines, a lot to get to with the Heat and Celtics, then the Heat and the Nuggets. We do have the shootout with Strick coming up as well. But then we'll also talk a little bit about expansion teams. The Vegas Golden Knights advanced to the Stanley Cup for the second time, dominating road win in Game 6. You've got some thoughts. We'll dive into that in just a little bit. Let's start with this, though. 103-84, Game 7. It's the Heat over the Celtics. There's a lot that goes into it, Strick. There's a lot, I think, that went down. But to me, it's as simple as Boston shot poorly, Miami shot well enough. Is there more to it than that?
There's really not. I mean, a lot of people are going to put a little bit of emphasis on the fact that Jason Tatum, like the first play dang near of the game, twists his ankle a little bit. Yes, I think that does play a part. But at the end of the day, Jason Tatum alone by himself was not going to get it done, especially with the way that Miami was actually playing this night. You shoot, I think at one point they were 0 for 10. I think maybe 1 for 11 by the time they finally hit a shot. And it might have been Horford or it was either Horford or maybe Brown? I can't remember. But somebody finally hit one. It was like 1 for 11. And then they end up shooting 42 times. And you go 9. You just can't do it because your trade-off is so bad. When you miss threes and you live and die by the three like they actually did, they got back into the series basically by the three-point line. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum, in one game, it was threes and Jason Tatum's getting downhill at will, just finishing at the rim. It seemed like Miami was playing with no passion, a lot of lackluster flair. They didn't have no fire. They didn't have no fire in their eyes, it seemed like. And so they put themselves in this situation. I actually thought it was over. And that situation happens. Brown kind of up and down. They missed a lot of shots. You had great game by a few of the players. A couple of them, White, played tremendous defense. And I think I have a stat on that. I mean, when you look at just what White was able to do as far as playing defense in multiple series, there was a lot of success there. Derek White and his defense in the playoffs against Trae Young in that series. He the team, Trae Young goes 16 for 47 for 34% with 7 turnovers and 5 blocks. Tyrese Maxey goes 12 for 32. These are in games that mean something for the series. 12 for 32, 37.5%, 2 turnovers, and he blocked a shot once. And then against Jimmy Butler, he goes 12 for 23. 12 for 31, 38%, 1 turnover, and he blocked a shot 4 times. So you can't fault Derek White. Derek White played tremendous. He goes 5 for 12, 2 for 9. He has 18 points. He's the second leading scorer on the team. You can't fault him. But you would have hoped to have got something. 84 points in a finals closeout game is just not going to get it done. It's not going to happen in any way. But let's give a shout out on the other side to what happened. And it's your boy, Caleb Martin. And we know who Caleb Martin is. He's got a famous Martin father who we played against in the conference finals. They actually beat us in 6 and the New Jersey for the New Jersey Nets at the time. And Kenyon Martin was a phenomenal player as well. And his son stepped up at the most opportune time and the most the time that was most necessary for the Miami Heat. And it was Game 7 in the Garden. 11 for 16, 4 for 6 from 3, man. He was the one that made the difference in this game.
He's a good size to be a swing guy, kind of a role player there.
Plays good D too. Great
plays
D.
Good D, good length. Not a primary guy on offense, but again, he took what the defense gave him. He took the open shots, little one dribble pull-ups, got to the rim a couple times. A very well-rounded game, and I think that's what Miami needed. I want to save the Heat conversation for a sec, as we'll talk about them and their X factors against the Nuggets next segment. As we reflect on Boston's season coming to an end, Jaylen Brown goes 8 of 23. Looked like he was bothered by a hand, not great decision making, but he wasn't the only one. The ball didn't move for Boston. That zone completely flummoxed them. Jaylen Brown, a bit of a chucker, but again, if you're not going to hit threes out of a zone and you're not going to get offensive rebounds to counteract it, that's a tough way to make a living. What's the next move for Boston? Do they run it back with this group? You know, the group that came back from down 3-2 against Philly and then forced a game 7 against Miami? Or did getting down in those series, having those deficits, say, yeah, something's off, let's spend this offseason trying to figure out what it is and make a move?
So it sounds like Brogdon was injured some, so he wasn't able to really give them everything that they need. I think they've got to take a look at the young fella, the Pritchard kid. I don't know if that works for them as far as the way that the team is built, being that they're very long and team that has a lot of length and height, and they like that. I don't think listen, I love the way Horford plays. They've got to figure out a way to do something because Robert Williams has got to expand his game. He can't be so limited in what he does as far as just being a rim protector. That's not going to work for them. Then you got to ask the question, is Grant Williams the guy that you want? I think they probably would love to turn it over to Hauser and see if Hauser can kind of fit into that mix a little bit. You've got to figure out with Derek White. I think he's a great fit for this team. But then you've got to decide on whether or not the combo of Jaylen Brown and Tatum is capable of getting you to where you want to be. That's really what it's going to come down to. Marcus Smart's going to be Marcus Smart. He's not going to do anything spectacular. He's going to give you some every now and then. But at the end of the day, your key components is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. What they do and the decisions that they make going forward, I think has to be centered around them. And how they're going to make additions and add additions is going to be determined on whether or not they're able to part ways with those. I don't think Jason Tatum's going to be the one that does it. But they've got to figure out a way to get and acquire some assets so that they can really fill in some holes.
It's still interesting to me that Brad Stevens is running the show there in Boston. Might be a make or break offseason for him. The other guy that I think we have to talk a little bit about is the coach, Joe Mazzulla. Obviously, thrust into this situation under unfortunate circumstances, easily avoidable on Udoka's part, but he's in Houston now. Again, he's a rookie coach that took his team to the edge of the finals, found a way to rally them from down 3-0. Did he show you enough to say he can be the guy for a team with championship aspirations like Boston? Or does he need some more seasoning down the bench somewhere? And does Boston need to take a look at that spot too?
I feel bad for him because you're absolutely right. He was kind of thrust into this situation. He was pretty much dealt a hand that he didn't actually have a chance. So just imagine getting a poker hand that you have and you don't actually have a chance to turn in cards. You're actually just stuck with the cards that you got, and you kind of got to work from that. And I think I've got to give him credit. He did a tremendous job for the most part. Now, had they have gotten swept or lost in, I might have felt a little bit different, but he was able to get those guys, keep them together, get them rallied, as you said, and to make a run at it. It just came up short. I don't really put the fault or the onus on him in this situation. There's really not much they can do other than draw up some things. But I will say he did get out coached. Spoelstra, I like what they did. Spoelstra, they knew that ultimately they were trying to protect Robert Williams or keep him or even Horford. And so they ran a couple of sets that made it look like they were going to go guard to guard and get to a switch that they wanted, maybe on White or Tatum or somebody like that. And they would use it kind of like a double pick, and they would use the other side, get them to the matchup that they wanted in the place that they wanted to allow Jimmy Butler to be able to work more effectively. So that's why you saw his assist numbers were solid, but you also saw that he was able to get to the basket a little bit more. So he had a little bit more success last night.
The Heat become the second 8 seed in NBA history to make it all the way to the NBA Finals, the first team that ever played in a play-in game to make it all the way to the finals. Let's break down the Heat a little bit more next. Who are their key players, who are their X factors, but also the team on the other side, the 1 seed from out west, the Denver Nuggets, making their first NBA Finals appearance in team history. They've gotten close to the finals before, never been on this stage. Let's break that down on the other side of this break.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Ards. Nebraska High School State Baseball has concluded, and the Lincoln East Spartans are your Class A champion. The Spartans would beat Millard West 3-2, ending the season on a 14-game winning streak. Lincoln East would also be the first Class A team from Capital City to win the state baseball championship since 1977. Switching to boys state golf, winning the title in Class A goes to Lincoln Southeast with a score of 288. Omaha Westside would come in third with 292 strokes, and Lincoln East would finish third with 299. Gavin Gerch of Lincoln Southeast would place second as an individual with 69 strokes. Switching to Class B, Norris would claim the championship as a team with a score of 293. York would place second, and Scottsbluff at third. This has been your Southeast Community College High School Minute. Learn more today at southeast.edu with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Warm weather calls for fun in the sun and in the pool. If a backyard pool is in your summer plans, make electrical safety your priority. Visit les.com/safety to keep your family safe.
Spring is here, and Acres has special financing on all John Deere lawn tractors and zero-turn mowers. Get your yard looking great and use John Deere's wide selection of attachments to landscape your property to perfection. And for a limited time, with a purchase of a new John Deere mower, get up to $200 to apply to the steel power tool of your choice. From trimmers to chainsaws, gas or electric, Acres is your home for steel products and service. Acres, solutions for every field.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Hey, CNC machinists, do you feel like you're in a dead-end job with your boss hovering over your shoulder? That's so annoying. Not at Garner Industries. We provide the opportunity and trust our CNC machinists to bring the talent. I'm Bob Williams, HR Director at Garner Industries, and we're looking for new team members in our CNC department. At Garner Industries, you'll work in a clean, climate-controlled, and safe environment with team members who want to see you succeed. You will also enjoy 4-day work weeks, great benefits, and a positive working culture. Interested? Apply on our career page at garnerindustries.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Talking some more NBA, specifically now the NBA Finals matchup. It's set. The 1 seed out west, the Denver Nuggets, will host Game 1 on Thursday against the 8 seed out of the East, the Miami Heat. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you here. Strick, let's start with Miami. We just got done talking a little bit about Boston, but as good as Jimmy Butler was, as good as Caleb Martin was, Bam Adebayo definitely had his moments. We'll see if Vincent and Strus step up for the Heat. To me, it comes down to Eric Spoelstra, a guy that's been there in the big moments with different types of teams that, grinded his way up from the video room to head coaching, grinded his way to the finals as an 8 seed, but also, had some 1 seeds in his time in Miami with the Heatles back with, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. To me, he's Heat culture right now. His schematics, the way he connects with players. Is he the biggest reason the Heat are in the finals right now?
I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of great coaching, but also KYP, knowing your personnel. He has a great understanding of what his personnel is. He has the trust and the willingness to step back into the realm and touch guys that maybe were put towards the end of the bench because of the losses. I mean, you got to remember that not only are they doing this, and this shows a great coaching, because not only are they doing this without Tyler Hero, who is probably their second or third best player. You can judge that depending on how you look at the team, but you also lost Victor Oladipo, and those were key pieces to what this team was built on ultimately to be. And at the end of the day, they don't have them, and yet he went back into the treasure trove. You have to have a sit down. You have to have conversations with Duncan Robinson and talk about, listen, we understand that maybe we didn't agree on things. Maybe we didn't go to you as much as you like. But at the end of the day, we need you, and we need you to be a consummate professional. And that just goes to the organization, the Miami Heat organization, totally. Then you look at Strus, and you look at freaking Gabe Vincent. Those guys have been key. Gabe Vincent's only making $1.8 million, both him and Strus. I mean, this is what they're getting from these guys. Hayward Highsmith comes into the game and plays great D. Mm-hmm. Has a couple of buckets. He's making 1.7. You know what I'm saying? You look at them, and then Caleb Love doesn't really do nothing for you, but you're going to need Kevin Love in this next series because Joker is going to bump and grind. I still don't think Love has the physicality that he used to have in order to bump and grind with him. But if you put just Adebayo on them, they don't have the front court. And I think this is probably the worst matchup for them because I just don't think they have the front court to sustain a run at Denver. Now, I could be wrong. Denver could play terribly. They could have Russ. Miami can jump out on them. But I just don't think they have the front court in order to stay with what they've got going on over there in Denver.
To your point there, I mean, Caleb Martin, who played a lot of 4 for them this series, is 6'5". You have Jimmy Butler at 6'7", Highsmith at 6'7", Duncan Robinson 6'7", Kevin Love 6'8", and then obviously Bam Adebayo. Do you break the glass on Udonis Haslem? Is that the point we're at for more front court depth?
I mean, it's as crazy as it sounds. It might have to happen. I think the things that they did successfully against the Boston Celtics, especially that zone, I don't think they can play that against Denver. The reason being is there's a lot of different holes, and you have size, both from Gordon as well as from Jokic to be able to find places in that zone, as well as both of them can stretch. So you could either go with a 5-out approach, or you could also go with kind of finding those open windows. And if Joker catches it in open windows, he's going to find somebody, whether it be for a dunk, a layup, or a three. So you're going to be relying on them to hopefully be missing, as they were doing at Boston. I just don't know if Denver is going to collectively shoot that bad that many times consistently.
Right. Murray's also a big guard, but to me, Strick, the other guy that hasn't come up yet that's an X factor to Denver for me is Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
What does he look like? You know, he's been good. He's been a solid shooter and roll guy. If Miami does try to go zone, he's a killer zone buster, just spacing around the perimeter. Yeah. And who does Miami have that can get up in his grill? No one consistently at 6'10" with that release. But can he avoid being Jordan Poole? Can he avoid, trying to take too big a step forward into the limelight? Because to me, if he plays his role around Jokic, around Murray, is a good spot up option, attack second side, that goes a long way. But if he forces himself into the conversation against a guy that he's smaller than and disrupts the flow, that to me is how Miami, gets in this series defensively, is by, making Michael Porter Jr. take bad shots.
He would be wise to just continue to allow things to come to him. Sometimes when you have this kind of time off, you're a product of your thoughts. You kind of sit and start to project and have thoughts of how things are going to look in this series, how you're going to look in it, where you want to stand as far as in the history of it, so forth and so on. Most people don't understand, if you just keep and stay to your strengths and your role, that ultimately the success of the team will allow you to shine. Like, you will come out shining because of the fact that you didn't look like you were trying to do, you wasn't forcing, you wasn't pressing. You don't come across that way. And there were some people at different times where, I'll give you a good example. There were some people at different times that stayed in their lane and stayed in their role, and they had success. And then there were others where they tried to step out. You have Russell Westbrook, obviously, at times with OKC would find himself doing that, causing them a little bit of trouble. You would also see like J.R. Smith at times, where there were times where if he just stayed in his role and he just continued, just allow the game to come and didn't press, he had big ones. And they were, and the team as a whole had success and were able to pull things off. So you've got certain guys like that don't have the ability to do that, but when they do, there's success behind it.
Absolutely. The other thing that I found interesting, Strick, I dug this up from people on Twitter. Tommy Beer is the guy that tweeted this. He said, over the entire regular season, the Heat shot greater than 45% from three while shooting 30 or more three-pointers in a game one time. One time all season did they shoot better than 45% on 30 attempts. This time, they've done it 4 times in 17 games. Okay, it's kind of a one-off or a 4-off, I guess, in this situation. Teams get hot sometimes. Here's the other thing. The Heat were 27th in the NBA in shooting threes in the regular season, 34%. Through those same 17 games, they're the best three-point shooting team this postseason at 39%. That's another way I think they can maybe survive going small, is if they keep shooting at that clip. If they can force Denver to match them offensively. If the Heat's shots aren't falling, they're smaller. They shouldn't be able to rebound as well. But just how big an equalizer can the three-point line be for Miami if it stays hot?
But that's what we talked about. That was the reason that the Boston Celtics were able to do what they were doing. Because what happened was they would get hot one game, they would go nuts. That helped them to either secure the game, win the game, get back into a game, or whatever the case may be. Then the next game, because now you make adjustments, right? You're adjusting to whatever the team did in the previous game before that. And then all of a sudden, Jason Tatum is downhill. So then you make the adjustments to keep him from doing that, turning corners, getting into the paint, having a field day in there where they're living rent-free in the paint. At that point, then you go back to your other strategies, which ends up working this night. You have Jaylen Brown turn over the ball 8 times. So every time he was in the paint, he was giving up the ghosts in there. He was just letting the thing just lie around. But the thing that Miami did that they needed to do in this game, if they were going to win, they needed to do this: win the hustle points. they were beating the Celtics to the ball for the hustle points and getting those extra possessions or so forth and so on. And it was giving them a chance to blow it. Now, they weren't doing that the games before. That's where they were losing. They were getting out hustle, out scrap, and Miami turned it around on them. And you thought that wouldn't be the case. But again, it's tough to do that 4 times straight against the same opponent. Is
Miami the hungrier team here, or does Denver in its first finals as a franchise have that edge to them to finally get one for the city?
I would say I think Miami's hungry. I think they're equally hungry. I think the thing that's different about Denver is I think Denver's about business. Like, I think Denver, everything that they do is methodical, and it's about getting the job done and ultimately securing the big prize. And you hear that out of their leader. Their leader sits down on interviews, Nikola Jokic, he sits down in interviews, and the next thing you know, they're having conversations. And obviously the media is always going to try to draw you out into saying something or creating some controversial statement. And Jokic just basically said, I don't play for individual accolades. I'm playing for titles and to win and hopefully bring something here. I think they understand the magnitude of what hasn't been done in the organization and kind of where that weighs in the organization, how Melo wasn't able to take them there. And now they have a unique opportunity to do so. And you don't ever want to squander it, especially when you've got home court advantage throughout the playoffs.
Denver, having never made a finals, I think some people want to throw that underachiever label on them. But really, Strick, when I look at it, I don't think they've been, beat necessarily by a worse team. I don't think they've really been upset. They've always been the 2 or the 3 or beat by a generational performance by someone. I don't think Mike Malone is a bad coach. I think he's really solid. I think he's good for them. But that leads me to one more question for this segment. Who needs a ring more? I get it's a team accomplishment, but for their legacy, how they're going to be remembered, who needs a ring worse, Nikola Jokic or Jimmy Butler?
So it's in the eye of the beholder, Austin. Let's just be real about it. I think it's in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of who is looking at it and from what angle they're looking at it. I think Jimmy has been unfortunate in that, obviously, the one that really hurts, and I think this one really hurts because I think this team had a chance. It's the Philadelphia team. They were very talented, and that loss to Kawhi Leonard where the ball shot out of the corner and it freaking hits and it just goes straight up and then falls in, right? Mm-hmm. That is crazy. That team I thought was the team that had the opportunity to do so. Obviously, they had that run in the bubble. They weren't able to get it done as well. And then there were some kind of injury situations that he was dealing with there. Didn't really fully have a full team, I think, that really could have gotten them through that. And I think, if I remember correctly, Hero was out on that in that series. I think
so.
Yeah, I think in that series too. So it was one of those type of things. He was up and down in that same light. Both of those teams played tremendous. They're both here now. One of them is going to be a champion. I think they're both equally hungry.
To me, Strick, it's a pretty clear answer that it's Nikola Jokic. Again, I get the argument for Jimmy, and I'll lay it out a little bit. But to me, I think there's less pressure on Jimmy to win a ring because if you look at especially, playoff Jimmy, he's usually dragging teams, especially recently, into the playoffs kicking and screaming, where he's the engine, where he's the guy. That Philly team you mentioned is, I think, the exception, where he had Harden, he had Embiid, other talented guys around him, and you have a ball bounce on the rim 4 separate times, fall through. Well, them's the breaks. Otherwise, it's felt like the narrative has been Jimmy's dragging these guys through the playoffs. So to be kind of that one-man wrecking crew, almost a little Allen Iverson 2001 Sixers-ish. Not exactly, but almost to that degree.
Yeah. I can see that correlation.
On the flip side, you have Nikola Jokic, who's a 2-time MVP, who's led his team to the 1 seed, and, maybe should have been a 3-time in a row MVP, but we're talking about him as one of the greatest players of this generation, as one of the next faces of the league. Again, 2 MVPs already, might be more on the way. If he doesn't win a championship, he's the ultimate regular season guy. He doesn't get that label off his back. He's Dan Marino, never getting a Super Bowl. Jimmy Butler, we know what he is. His lore as playoff Jimmy is already set because of the superhuman nature of it. But given how we talk about Nikola Jokic as an MVP, as the leader and cornerstone of a franchise, to me, he needs a ring worse than anybody in this series.
Yeah, I can understand that too, especially with the success that he's had individually, a lot of the conversation that goes around that. I can understand that pressure definitely being to that level with Nikola Jokic. I think he's got more around him than you really expect, and I think a key to that is going to be Aaron Gordon because of his versatility. And I think Denver, if they pound the offensive glass and they get extra opportunities because they're going to take long shots, Jokic is going to command. Let's be real about that. Not demand, command multiple double teams and people being around him because they're not going to be able to handle that man one-on-one. Let's keep it a buck. That's not going to happen.
No.
So at the end of the day, you've got to look at guys like Aaron Gordon. They're going to have to hit shots, and I think they're going to, with their length, Michael Porter Jr., all of them are going to, if they pound them into oblivion as far as offensive rebounding, I think that's going to set a great tone for this series.
The Nuggets are the second biggest favorite since like the 2016 season. I think the 2018 Warriors were the biggest favorite in series history over that Cavs team. The Nuggets are the second biggest, but don't count the Heat out. They've been there before with a lot of this similar group. Like we said, Coach Spo's been there. So we'll keep monitoring the NBA Finals, but we're trying to get Strick a ring next. That's right. The shootout with Strick is up after the break. $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line for you. Call now, 402-464-5685. Take on Stricken Trivia, win yourself and someone else a dinner. We'll play the game when we get back.
NASCAR is known for fast cars, roaring action, and big bucks. The Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion features all three, especially the bucks. Until May 30th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play or Double Play, enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 winners of $1,000. And the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Weekend. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Motor Food is Lincoln's hardest rocking food truck and cafe. Motor Food creates old school comfort food with a 21st century twist and lots of rock and roll attitude. Try the barbecue pulled pork mac and cheese, the grilled chicken Firebird sandwich, a 100% all beef split grilled hot dog, and any version of their funky fries. Stop by the cafe just behind Outback Steakhouse on 48th Street or catch the food truck out and about all spring and summer. Check out their menu, order carryout, or schedule catering at motorfoodtruck.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
When it comes to your home or business, we know you have options, and that's why John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning gives you just that. Options. We have plumbing, heating, and cooling memberships to serve all of your residential and commercial needs. We want to ensure you, your family, and your business are safe. Visit our website, jhlincoln.com, to find out more or call us at
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount, must trade in and finance with the Roof Credit.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
From the first pitch of a late-night Little League game to the sweet taste of frozen treats, LES powers all of life's special moments for only $2.88 a day. Learn more at les.com/value.
Junior Achievement of Lincoln inspires and prepares young people for success. Learn more about the people involved in the organization and the success stories over the years each Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. for the Junior Achievement Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
We need a contestant. Call now, 402-464-5685. Again, $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, a couple weeks now, where it's not $15 every day. It's $30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays is typically when we've been doing that. So again, 402-464-5685. 4 questions for Strick, 4 for you. $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is the prize. Strick, I just saw this come over the wire. Something to talk about while we wait for a contestant. Caleb Love, who transferred from North Carolina at one time, committed to Michigan, wasn't allowed in, didn't end up making it to Ann Arbor, announces he's going to Arizona, of all places. Now, Arizona, of course, ended up losing Kerr Kriisa, who visited Nebraska, but he's at West Virginia. But I want to focus more on the Michigan aspect of this with Juwan Howard. Up and down tenure, they've been a pretty consistent postseason program, NCAA, NIT. If Michigan doesn't make a run, is Juwan Howard's seat hot?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
I think so. I think when you look at not just what's going on the court, kind of what's happening, you lose Hunter Dickinson. I hear their NIL situation isn't really in lockstep, and this is something that it takes a work from the coach to have to get out there in the community, get out there and find with the resources you would expect that Michigan and their alumni, you would expect that Michigan would be pretty solid in their collectives. Now, the problem I think, Austin, comes in is there's been on the court issues, fighting with coaches, things that are going on during games. You have that going on, and then you add just other stuff to that. You gotta weigh that out, man. You gotta see, is he the one that's going to get you there? He's going to take you there. He's kind of been in situations where their teams haven't played very well at all. And then all of a sudden he fights back and he kind of squeaks in and then makes a little run that kind of changes the narrative on it. But is he really doing the job? And I think that's something that they're going to have to take a close look at and to make that decision. But I think you got you got to look at him being possibly on the hot seat.
Real quick before we get to Kent on the line to play the shootout.
Oh, real quick. Caleb Love going down there, but they also landed Nibhart, right?
They did. Mm-hmm.
They also got, so they've got a great, so here's the thing with Caleb. Nibhart is a great distributor. He's going to find people and do what he does. He likes to get it in transition. So Arizona.
He went to Gonzaga.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's what it was.
That's right. Yeah. Where his brother. Yeah.
Okay. He went to Gonzaga.
Arizona was the rumor, and that's why Creighton fans were all up in arms. They're saying tampering, but he ends up at Gonzaga.
Okay, good. No, then that doesn't work. I think that's Caleb Love is a very ball dominant type of guy, and you got to work that out in your system if you're going to allow that to happen. I think that's where a lot of the problems happen with him out in North Carolina.
Right. All right. Let's play the shootout with Strick. Let's go to the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Welcome in, Kent. Kent, how's it going today?
Oh, pretty good.
Glad to hear it. You know the rules of the game. 4 for Strick, then 4 for you. Good to go on that front?
Sure.
All right. Hold tight then, Kent. We'll give Strick his 4 questions, and then we'll get to you. All right, Strick. Your round of the shootout begins here in 3, 2, and 1. He leads all MLB hitters in batting average. Luis Arias or Freddie Freeman?
Freeman.
It's Arias. He leads all MLB pitchers in wins. Nathan Eovaldi or Shane McClanahan?
McClanahan.
Yep. He leads all MLB hitters in runs batted in. Adolis Garcia or Yordan Alvarez?
Garcia.
Yep. And this team has the most wins in the National League.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Dodgers.
1.
He pulls it at the buzzer. Stricky, well done. The Dodgers have a 1-win advantage over the Atlanta Braves with 1 more game played.
Woo.
Well done. That's 3 out of 4. A good return to the shootout. Well done.
Had to think it through. Had to hit him with the 3 ball.
Mellow style. All right, Kent, 3 to tie, 4 to win. Are you ready for your round of the shootout?
You bet.
All right, starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He leads all MLB pitchers in earned run average. Joe Ryan or Sonny Gray?
Sonny Gray.
Yep, he leads all Major League Baseball hitters in home runs. Pete Alonso or Jorge Soler?
Soler.
It's Alonso. He leads all MLB hitters in stolen bases. Esteury Ruiz or Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Ruiz.
Yep, and this team has the most wins in the American League.
Tampa Bay.
Wow, no hesitation, and he nails it. We are going to a tiebreaker. Kent, well done. I'll give Strick a question. He'll give a number. Kent, you'll give over under. All right, Strick, Here's the question. Brad Keller of the Kansas City Royals has allowed the most walks of any Major League Baseball pitcher this season. How many walks has he allowed? I'll give you this context. He has pitched in 9 games and 43 1/3 innings. Can't hear you again.
You said 9 games and
9 games, 43 innings. How many walks has he allowed?
$42.
42 is the number, Kent. Over or under?
Under.
Boom shakalaka. Finish him.
Give me a hell yeah. I said give me a hell yeah.
Kent, congratulations. You squeaked it out. Strick, a fantastic guess. The number was 40.
Wow.
40 walks. Said 42. So close. Kent, hold on the line. Again, congratulations on the win. We'll get your information down. You win the $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings. Strick, that's painful. He forced a game 7 and he got it done. He was the Heat. I'm sorry.
Congratulations. Hey, I gave it my best. But sometimes your best ain't good enough. You just got to keep trying and trying again.
A heck of a guess, a game well played. We're going to switch subjects from the NBA to NHL a little bit. That's going to lead us off into a little bigger a talking point. You want to set that up for the listener, Strick?
Yeah. So, one of the things that I found very interesting in the NHL space is that you've had a lot of the expansion teams that have had pretty good success in the earlier stages of their existence. And you can't say anything more than what the Golden Knights have done in Las Vegas and the success that they're having. They're on their way back to the NHL Stanley Cup. Great series that they had against the Dallas Stars. A great tradition in Dallas, and they were able to get it done on Dallas's home ice in Game 6 and in dominating fashion, to say the least. Absolutely. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dig into it. We're going to talk and just kind of dig into why is it that in NHL you can pretty much have that kind of success pretty early. There's some things about it, but why don't we see it in more sports? Why don't we see it in the NBA? Why don't we see it in the NFL? It's pretty tough because most of them don't do very well as they go into expansion. So we'll dig into that.
That's the conversation. Stay tuned. Hour 2 on the block comes your way after this.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Hi, I'm Barb Bettine, President and CEO of the Lincoln YMCA. On behalf of the Y, I want to thank you for voting us Lincoln's Choice for Best Youth Sports Programs, Best Youth Activity Programs, and Best Preschool. These categories represent so much of what we do at the Y, and we're honored to serve thousands of families in our community each and every day. Hey, with summer just around the corner, I invite you to stop in to one of our 4 branches and learn how the Y can be a part of your family. The Y Outdoor Pools open May 27th, and we can't wait to see you.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
McMurphy has Nebraska in the Las Vegas Bowl. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely amazing. Here's when the Vegas Bowl is. It's before Christmas. It is so easy to get to Las Vegas for Nebraska fans. There's now a direct flight from Lincoln via Redway, the new at Lincoln Airport. Omaha has direct flight. Grand Island has direct flights to Vegas.
It would be flooded with Nebraska.
It would be awesome.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing. Heating and air.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Let's get it. Hour 2 here, our first day of the week here on Tuesday. We're with you 2 to 4 Central Time, all over the place. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Having some issues with Facebook, hopefully back up there soon. For people in the Allo radius, channel 951, radio dial 93.7, of course, but online, theticketfm.com, or we have a free app. More coming on the way with that as well. So you'll want to download that now and definitely stay tuned for what's coming with that. I'm Austin Norman. He's Eric Strickland. This is On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Strick, let's just jump right in. You noticed the Vegas Golden Knights doing their thing. I am a very, backseat kind of hockey observer. I know what's going on, but even I have to pay attention to what the Golden Knights are doing. 2 Stanley Cups in their first 6 years. What are you seeing from that franchise that's made them so successful so early?
Well, let's look at it this way. They've had some draft rule changes that are probably uniquely different than what others have had. There's a lot of protections that come with others that I remembered in the NBA side of things. On the football side of it, I'm not fully acutely aware as to how they do it, but it's not very complicated. But in this one, the way that this happens is they allow you to touch anybody on any other's roster, and this is what's making it a lot easier for them to be able to make these runs at such an early time. So in essence, you can select, like for when the Kraken came in, for example, and the rules were similar for the Knights. You can select one player from each existing team except, so the Kraken, when they first came, they weren't able to touch anybody from the Golden Knights. So they had an advantage in that situation. So what they were able to draw from, they didn't have to worry about somebody else coming and picking off some of their top talent. So you have 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goaltenders. So the clubs have the option of protecting 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, a goaltender, 8 skaters, a forward, and defenseman, and a goaltender. So those are the options that they have. So they were the beneficiary of being able to touch and tap in to a large swath of talent. And if they did a good job of scouting that, it worked out to their benefit. Now, one of the other things about this team that you find out about them is that there were a hodgepodge of individuals that had chips on their shoulders because they were, in essence, getting a second chance where they were written off wherever they were. They've had bad experiences. Their play was diminishing. Whatever the case was there, they had that going on for them. So the Vegas Knights in their first season, they were referred to as the Golden Misfits, said McPhee, who was one of the guys that was there on the team. That he said McPhee says everyone here has been rejected in one way or another. And McPhee was with what did he say? He said McPhee was in the front office. The head coach at that time was Gerald Gallant, and he had been fired by the Florida Panthers in November of 2026. And McPhee also was fired by the Capitals in 2014. So McPhee basically says it was a hodgepodge. It was just a collective group of misfits that came together. And it sounded like, when I read through the article, a lot of them just had sit downs and they collectively came together and said, this is a second opportunity. This is a second chance to be able to bring back credibility to your name and to yourself individually as well as collectively. So every player, they felt like they were sent into a strange island of banishment into the middle of the desert. And they started to look at it from a positive standpoint. And what happens a lot of times in expansions, you don't want to be a part of it because it's like they don't really like you. They don't care about you. You're kind of tossed out. You're thrown around. And a lot of people go into expansion situations with a mentality of, dang, man, bump them. You come with a negative connotation, whereas they seem to come and look at it from a positive standpoint, which led them to ultimately get to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year. And it turned freaking Vegas into a hockey town. It's like everybody is in love with this team. And so it's the third team in history to reach the conference finals 4 times in their first 6 years, which is a phenomenal feat in itself. Then you look at the Kraken. The Kraken are also having great success. You look up at the Tampa Bay Lightning and what they've been able to accomplish as an expansion team. So for some reason, Austin, it seems as if hockey seems to do a little bit better. And this Vegas Knights team does better than any. If you go and look at the metrics on any expansion teams, they seem to be the one that fared out better than anybody. If you look at the numbers,
which is incredible because you don't think of hockey in a desert. You don't.
Right.
But that to me speaks to the strength of that front office, their talent identification, getting the right coach in place right away. And I know they've cycled through a few of them at this point. I mean, heck, they're already on their third coach. It's their guy's first year this year. But to win your division 4 times in your first 6 years, that's incredible. Yeah. I mean, winning a division, any division 4 times in 6 years, regardless of how young or old your franchise is incredible. But 4 times in your first 6 years as a franchise, my goodness, like you said, I mean, regardless of the sport, how does that not grade out as the best?
Yeah, it's crazy. It when you look at it, Vegas versus the MLB expansion teams, they have a score differential of +7 and a Z-score of 1.3. Their win percentage is 72.6 with a Z-score of 1.7. The next team to them is the Los Angeles Angels at a negative 0.3 value and a negative 0.3 Z-score, and their win percentage is 43.5. Then the Royals after that, your Royals, the Houston Colts, that's a great name, by the way, the Houston Colt 45s, and then the Seattle Pilots, and then you have the Colorado Rockies. And when you look at the expansion of basketball teams, the next team to them, their first, is the Chicago Bulls at a negative 3.7 value, 0.7 Z-score, and a 40.7% win percentage. No one else comes even in the range or close. Portland Trail Blazers, Milwaukee Bucks, Seattle Supersonics, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves all find themselves down there at the bottom. You don't even see Memphis in the listing. And the same goes for football. The Carolina Panthers are second, but it's not even close. So we're going to see if they can continue on. But at this point, it looks as if this Golden Knights organization has done a tremendous job in scouting. They still have 5 of the originals still there on their roster right now, and those originals are let's see, who is it? I got it right here. Shea Theodore. They got him from a trade from the Anaheim Ducks in exchange for draft considerations. They have Riley Smith. Riley Smith came from a trade from the Florida Panthers in exchange for a 4th-round pick in 2018.
The Panthers who they're playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, by the way.
Right, by the way. And Jonathan Marchessault, I'm sorry. And he came over in the expansion draft also from guess who? The Florida Panthers. And you also have Braden McNabb. He was in the expansion draft. He came from the Los Angeles Kings. And they're not making crazy dollars or killing their salary cap. And so also William Carter is the last one who came from the Sabres. So those are the 5 originals that are still with the team, but they've done a good job because they've continued to maintain success regardless of what they've done. Their organization is continuing to do very well.
And like you mentioned across hockey, I mean, the Golden Knights are the shining standard with what they've done. You mentioned Tampa Bay winning those back-to-back cups not too long ago and having a pretty good history. Even the Kraken coming in as a recent team and having success. Regardless of which of the other 3, major American sports you're going to pick, you don't see that. You brought up the Royals, who at least, made the playoffs for a while there, kind of struggled to get their feet for a few years. But by year 3, they were over 500, dipped a couple games below year 4 and year 6, but they made a World Series within 12 years of being a franchise. They won one within 15, 16 years of being a franchise. The Marlins, the team that, you played in the minor league system for, founded in what, early 90s? Yeah, 96, and they're winning a World Series in 2003.
Yeah.
You look at, the NFL, where the way that expanded, the Panthers have made a Super Bowl, but I don't know if I'd call their front office structure the greatest the whole time. Heck, Baltimore, when they, picked up the pieces of Cleveland, won a Super Bowl in 2000. That's a team I think of with a solid front office. Then we get to the NBA and the way the NBA is expanded. I mean, that 16-year stretch from 88 to 04 with all those teams being added, Vancouver fell apart. That's why they moved them, to Memphis. Toronto finally got over that hump a few years ago, but the Bobcats didn't do anything. In fact, were absolutely historically bad. The Pelicans are exciting, with the move when they got the team, but haven't really done anything of substance. So more than anything, it's talent and it's organization, and I think those are the 2 things it comes down to.
Yeah, it's not the talent pool. I think is there, right? I think there's, when you look across the landscape as far as definitely basketball, you look at it's a big money business. This is why they haven't been able to do what you think Dame Lillard would have loved for them to be able to do up in Portland. We unfortunately live in a time where you want to go, there's so many other factors that are added in, whether it be the market, your ability to sell your brand, you want to get into movies and all kinds of stuff like that. You want to be in commercials. There's some dictators to that. But then you have great spaces to where you can go, but yet they still don't go. Your money goes way longer in Portland, but some people just don't want to live in the dreariness of it. The travels there is pretty tough to get in and out. As far as when you hit a road trip, you're hitting a road trip in Portland. Let's just be real about it. Same thing for some of the other organizations. Why had the Clippers been so bottom of the barrel for so long. They were like they were second fiddle and the wicked stepsister of LA for such a long time, right? They had to move down to Anaheim just to even get a sniff of getting any kind of credibility before they came back up. And then you have just small market teams that they find it just hard. They're great places to live, but they just find it hard to draw. You have your Anthony Davis types that just want to leave. They want to bounce and they want to go to what they feel to be greener pastures. You had a unique situation with LeBron that just went out for greener pastures, and he finds himself coming back and doing what he thought he should have did and coming back to Cleveland, but he really didn't want to be there. He just felt like he did what he needed to do, and then he shot out to LA, where he's now making movies and doing this stuff. That's really what he wanted to do, right? So I just don't know. I think Vegas is very interesting for another expansion. They've obviously got football. I think basketball will probably be on the way. I think they want to secure what this next TV deal is going to be before they decide to make that expansion next. People are calling for it in Seattle. I don't know. I just don't. I just think it's kind of far up in that northwestern sector, man. That it's travel is real difficult, man, when you get up in there.
I want to ask you sport by sport a couple questions, Strick, and we'll start with the NBA. Is there enough talent in the NBA and the G League internationally to add, a couple more 13, 15 player rosters? Is there the money for it that the owners are going to see the value in adding another team? And is there a market where the NBA is thinking of expanding for the NBA?
I think if you look into international and you can expand that way, I really think that their eyes were turned internationally. Like they would have loved to get into that Euro League flow that goes on between like Spain and Italy and those type of rivalries and some of those Baltic countries as well. Germany's big, but it's just too far. It's too hard to manage when you're just talking about multiple teams. Just think about a West Coast trip. Like you would have to go out east, you'd have to go up and down the coast. And if you're at like the LA Lakers or the Clippers, right, you'd have to go up and down the coast, and then you would have to shoot over to Europe, run your cycle out there. You would be gone almost 2-3 weeks. It'd probably be the longest road trip of your life. And I don't know if they really want that.
In the NFL, is there enough money? Is there enough demand? And is there enough talent to add another team or two?
I think the NFL has the best probably opportunity to do it. I think because of the fact that they probably want to create great parity out there. I don't know if the quarterbacks are elite level to make it like that. I think it would kind of spread out the pool a little bit. But I think they have financially the best means by which to do it.
Do you think with the NFL, before I ask you about baseball, do you think that you would see some of that same mindset that the NHL had? Oh, discarded, thrown away, not wanted. Do you think you would see that, mentality provide a spark for any expansion team, or would the talent differential, between a mid-tier to the elite quarterbacks we know in the NFL be too much?
Well, the way to assess that, Austin, is you would have to go and look at the USFL. And you would have to go and look at the XFL and then ask that question, whether or not. Now, on the Sauter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, if you've been able to really do a full breakdown and assessment on what those leagues have been able to provide entertainment-wise, do you feel talent-wise they've been able to handle themselves? Obviously, they're not going to be able to compete with TV revenue as well as ratings. But if you're able to look at them and do a true assessment and see if the talent pool is good enough, could there be some teams? Because I do know that there's some XFL players that were able to sign with some NFL teams and get on for these workouts that are up and coming. So that's the part that you would really have to do a real deep dive and see.
And then finally for baseball, is there the talent available to add another team or two? Is there a market for more MLB, and is there enough money to make it plausible?
Well, I think so. I think talent wise, when you look internationally for baseball, it's there. Just look at the World Baseball games that were played. There's plenty of talent. When you're looking at Japan and you're looking at Koreas and you're looking at whether they want to come over here and play is going to be the next thing you'd have to get through. But then you look at all of the Caribbean countries, plenty of talent. But then you'd have to decide on whether or not you're getting enough TV revenues to be able to do it. I just don't know if baseball is at that point.
Is it fair to say that relocation is probably more on the table than expansion for MLB?
Yeah. I would probably say relocation is definitely probably a little bit easier to do than probably expansion. I think football, I really do think football could if they really wanted to, but do you really want to? You're already playing enough games. 18 games in a season, right now. You're already doing a lot of that. Still. Is it 17 still? So 17 games in a season. So shoot, that's a lot. So you would have to probably try to expand that a little bit. Do you really want to get into that? I think keep your eye.
The players don't.
Oh, of course. Right. That's the part that you got to really get through. So
that it is. Let's step aside here. We'll call up Steve Sipple. Got some Husker-themed questions to ask him. Maybe we'll bounce around a little bit, but what are the Huskers doing this summer? School officially out there on the road. What do summer workouts look like? With a new coaching staff, what goes on for them over the summer? We'll talk that and more with Steve Sipple of Early Break with Sip and Jake and On 3 after this.
The Nebraska Lottery presents one beautiful, crazy scratch ticket and promotion. It's the $5 Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratch ticket with a $50,000 top prize. Enter non-winning Luke Combs scratch tickets for an opportunity to win a trip to Nashville, a private concert with Luke at the Ryman Auditorium, and a chance at $500,000. The Living Lucky with Luke Combs concert experience will hit you like a hurricane. Details at NELottery.com. Living Lucky with Luke Combs scratch ticket top prize odds 1 in 128,000.
Allo is here to give you the FYI. Are your shows buffering? We know why. Are your games lagging? Don't deny. Your work calls dropping? Here's the FYI. Your old school internet company can't keep up. They give it a try. Their network isn't enough. Don't get trapped in their gimmicks and lies. It's time to fiber your internet with Allo. Honest, local, and hassle-free is what we stand by. Experience Allo Internet. Visit allofibra.com/FYI.
Celebrate the start of June in style with two great drinking events in Lincoln. First, this Friday, come down to Beer House's grand opening as they show off their expansion to double the size of their building. The party starts at 3 p.m. with live polka music starting at 7. And on Saturday, make plans to head on over to Sideshow Spirits and Cider for the first annual Nebraska Whiskey Carnival. Enjoy local Nebraska distilleries and their spirits, food vendors, and more. Event starts at 3 p.m. Buy your tickets ahead of time at SideshowSpirits.com.
Problem gambling affects more than the gambler. It affects spouses, children, extended family members, and friends. If you are a loved one who's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 476-2300.
Springtime is here, and it's time to get to work on outdoor projects. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams. From treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and TimberTech composite decking. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671. Go online at deckcityne.com or visit their new location just north of 33rd and Cornhusker Highway.
Hi, I'm Barb Bettine, President and CEO of the Lincoln YMCA. On behalf of the Y, I want to thank you for voting us Lincoln's Choice for Best Youth Sports Programs, Best Youth Activity Programs, and Best Preschool. These categories represent so much of what we do at the Y, and we're honored to serve thousands of families in our community each and every day. Hey, with summer just around the corner, I invite you to stop in to one of our 4 branches and learn how the Y can be a part of your family. The Y Outdoor Pools open May 27th, and we can't wait to see you.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years and changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is trained in the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior. Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try their pesto cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. And try the Karma Latte, as 10% of proceeds from that drink will go to the Teammates Mentoring Program. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Smoked meats, amazing sides. The only problem when they fix you a plate is that at some point, that plate will be empty. But hear me out. What if that plate was never empty? That dream can be your reality with the Mary Ellen's Express Lunch Buffet. From 11 to 2 every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even Saturday. One price, all you can eat, and it even comes with a drink. Tell your boss you're taking a long lunch and get down there. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake. Let them fix you a plate.
Warm weather calls for fun in the sun and in the pool. If a backyard pool is in your summer plans, make electrical safety your priority. Visit les.com/safety to keep your family safe.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. We are back here on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you, as we are again every weekday from 2 to 4. Again, subscribe, like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Turn your notifications on if you like On the Block, or set them for your favorite ticket show, whatever that is. Turn those notifications on so you know when the shows go live. It's free. It's just one little pop-up, one little click for you, and there you are in tune, listening and watching in some cases the show. We appreciate you, blockheads, especially for everything that you do for us and chiming in. We see you guys on the text line. Good thoughts. Keep them rolling in. Another one of your favorites here on 93.7 The Ticket, Early Break with Sip and Jake. Steve Sipple joins us here on the Honda of Lincoln Hotline. Steve, how's it going today?
It's going. How are you guys doing?
We're good. I think all is well here. Let's start with this, Steve. Nebraska football into the first summer with this coaching staff together. A lot of connections to Matt Rhule, but in some cases, not a lot of connection to each other. When you look at the coaching staff, what's their objective this summer? How are they getting to know each other? What does that day-to-day look like as they prepare for their first fall as a coaching staff?
Oh, I mean, I don't think it'll be too difficult because they'll be around each other a lot. I mean, they'll be around each other. Oh, for instance, recruiting ramps up now. You're going to have a bunch of visitors in this weekend that will require coordination, teamwork among a lot of entities, but for sure the full-time assistants. Also camp season. I mean, camp season, Matt Rhule wants those camps to be representative of a finely tuned program. And, those assistants that you're asking me about will be asked to perform at a high level as a team, as a group. So, I mean, I've always, been sort of oddly fascinated by how busy June and July can be, particularly June, because it's camp season at Nebraska. There'll be camps, I think pretty much every weekend. And at least 3 of those weekends are big visitor weekends. There's official visits coming, big names. This is a critical month for Nebraska's program and a lot of programs. But this is where hey guys, this is where you where you can make up ground. This is where, or you can lose ground. So won't have any trouble getting to know each other, Austin.
Which is good, because we've heard from what, Matt Rule and the coaching staff have said is that they want to dive in feet first. They don't want there to be a big acclimation period. Matt Rule has said he likes the talent on the roster, but like you said, Steve, a big recruiting time over the summer, coaches on the road a lot, and the camps. For those who might not know, what goes on at camps and just how important is it for coaches to get another chance to get eyes on guys doing football drills on what might be their home stadium someday?
Well, I mean, that's just it. I mean, you're working out some guys with a purpose. So there's that element of it. But there's also just, I mean, I was interested when Rule talked about it, but how important these camps are for the program. I mean, I don't want to be repetitive, but I've been to camps, guys, that are sloppy, and it kind of makes you wonder about the program. I mean, I've been to other campuses, I don't know, just period. I've visited football facilities, and I thought, man, it doesn't look, I mean, why is there folding chair? Why is there folding chairs on the field? What's going on? Why does it look slot? And it left a bad impression. Rule's very mindful of that. So the camps are important that way. But also, yeah, I mean, you're working out guys that you are interested in. You get a look at them. Sometimes an offer hinges on the way that player looks in a camp. You get to see him, how he reacts to adversity, for instance. If he gets beat in a drill, how does he respond? Those are the kind of things that can be hard to judge. I mean, you can judge them on film for sure, but I just think you get a better idea in live. So there's a lot. I mean, I can't really emphasize enough how important June is over there. There's a lot going on over there now.
So, Sip, one question. How tough is it for a young man to break through after Rule now in his coming had an opportunity to look at players in the spring, kind of know the direction he wants to go? How tough is it for how tough is it for a player, but then what is the easiest sector of players, whether it be the specialty group, the wide receivers, quarterbacks, linemen? Which is the easiest, as well as which is the ones that have the hardest time of breaking through?
Are you talking about current players or?
Yeah, like how hard is it? What I'm saying is, how difficult is it after they've had a chance to take a look at you in the spring, and then you have kids that are going to come in the summer and obviously in the fall, but how do those kids break through, and which ones have the easier time of breaking through? Is there a chance for, I mean, I know there's always a chance, but how difficult is that process?
I think what you're getting is it kind of depends on the position group. It depends on where you're at. I think one area you can always break through is special teams.
Okay.
If you're performing at a high level, you're going to get noticed. I mean, if you're attentive in this special teams meeting and you take that sort of attitude to the field and make plays, you'll get noticed that way. And that's if you're down the line on the depth chart at your position, you can still move up. But it's going to be dependent on what position you play. Some positions over there. Now I'll tell you something about Nebraska, though. It's not like they're real deep anywhere. So, there's going to be opportunity for most position players to move if they're performing at a high level. Now, I don't know if this is what you're alluding to. It's just like anything in life. A lot of impressions were made during the spring that would be hard to break. I mean, if a player has a bad spring with a first-time coaching staff, well, that's the first impression they get.
Right.
It doesn't mean you're buried forever, but I mean, it's really hard. It can be really difficult. And will that player have patience? And will the coach give them a second look? I don't know. I think it's just at Nebraska right now. I would think it wouldn't be that hard to climb. I mean, because there's not just a ton of talent over there right now. It's not like it was when you were playing, Eric, when there would be, you know how it was. There'd be 7 wingbacks that could play, you know,
Right.
and so, you know, there'd be 7 I-backs that could play. I don't really like that anymore. So you can move. I think if you come in June even, I think players can make moves in June and sort of July. Unofficially, it's kind of unofficial because camp hasn't started. But I think the average fan might be surprised how formal June is. I mean, coaches can only spend a certain amount of time with the players, and it's not a lot. But the players work out on their own, quote unquote, on their own. And then, you know, there's reports that get to the coaches of how things are going. And, you know, guys can make impressions. Hey, they're reporting right now, guys. I mean, that's what's happening. I think it happened yesterday and today, or Sunday and today. So there's, you know, guys are reporting right now.
One of the guys that you might fall into that group is one that you wrote about not too long ago, in Malachi Coleman, the Lincoln East product, who I didn't realize was at all the spring practices. Even though he was still, you know, in high school, he was at the practices. Do you think that gives him a leg up on people once he gets to campus, or do you think he's starting from the same, you know, block as everyone else coming in this summer?
Yeah, Austin, I don't know if it gives him might give him a little leg up. It definitely helps, and it certainly doesn't hurt that. Yeah, it was because he didn't participate in track due to injury. He didn't have classes at Lincoln East until 10:40 a.m. So he attended every single one of Nebraska's spring practices and got a feel for what will be asked of him, watched the technical side of it, how precise the routes were, how precise blocking was, what Garrett McGuire asked of his guys, what Matt Rule asked of his guys, all that. And yeah, you know, they might give him a little leg up on some of those guys that will be unfamiliar with it. He'll know exactly what, you know, he'll have a pretty good idea of what tempo's like. How, you know, just a lot of different things. So, hey, Malachi's really intriguing. I know this is what intrigues me about it. It's very simple. Last year at this time, you know, when they were in June camps, I went over there just to watch camps. And Malachi in a team camp was there, and I'll tell you something. He's striking. He was the best looking player on the field that day. And you know, there's 500 players out there. I mean, he's a great looking athlete, and you know, he seems very intent on being good. And he could be helpful right away because he's 6'4", 200, and you know, has sprinter speed.
Real quick question, Sip, before you get out of here. What do you think, and this is from the text line, there's a question that came out and it was asked, what do you think that Rob Childress's role would be on the baseball team as we move into the future, being that now they've kind of struggled a little bit since his hiring as player development coach?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Rob Childress might be working somewhere else. Is what I wonder about. I mean, there's jobs open. I know Rob Childress has interviewed. Well, not before this season. He interviewed at least one Division I job. These Division I jobs that are opening, I know there's interest in him. Now, is Rob interested in moving on? Wouldn't surprise me. He's 50. He's a little younger than me. I think he's 54, 55. You know, Wichita State just opened. I mean, would you be surprised if Wichita State were interested in Rob Childress?
No.
Not in the slightest. Well, sometimes just don't make it too difficult. I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're interested in him. I think Alabama's open. I'll just say it this one. I don't mind saying it. I mean, we speculate a lot. I don't think I'm going out on a limb. I think they'll be coaching somewhere else next year is what I think.
And someone will have definitely gotten a good one. Speaking of, you know, changeover in coaches, The Big Ten West in football had a lot of that. For a division that prides itself on, stability and consistency, pretty much every team made a major change in some form or another. As you look at the Big Ten West in, early summer, whose changes do you think you like and whose leave you scratching your head a little bit?
In the West, obviously Wisconsin is come on. It's a no-brainer. They got a great hire in Fickell. Great hire, at least on paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he did at Cincinnati is, you can't argue with it. The Purdue hire gave me pause and gives me pause. They went totally a different direction, which isn't always bad. That's not. But it's just the youth. A coach who hasn't done it in this league. I think it's it's hard for coaches to have done it, let alone someone breaking in. I don't like the hire at Purdue. I think Nebraska, that's good for Nebraska, good for their opponents. Other than that, I don't have any real strong opinions.
What about Iowa with Gary Barta stepping down? What does that mean for them?
Well, it could mean a lot, or it could mean not much for Ferentz. Ferentz, you guys have probably talked about it. He is signed through 2029. He signed an extension in January of 2022 for 7 years and 8 years is 8 years and $56 million. So $7 million a year. I doubt that he's too concerned about Barta. But why do I say that? Why do I say he'd be unaffected? He's not unaffected, but he's I was about to say he's the boss, and in many ways he is. He'll be there unless he chooses not to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I look at it.
What's on your docket? What's coming up? What's on your radar for writing about that we can look forward to?
Well, I'm interviewing Ted Carter tomorrow. He's the university system president. Just about, him assuming oversight of the athletic department, and then his views on the many issues that college athletics face right now. So that'll be that. Also, I had an interesting, it just kind of happened organically. One day I was talking to Frank Solich recently, and he started talking about the nuances of the fullback position. And I never even thought about 90% of what he was saying. And I thought, that'd make a pretty good column. The position's very unique, and there's a lot of unique elements that coaches look for in those guys. And Frank would be about the foremost expert on that. So those are two of the things I'm working on.
That's Steve Sipple. Of course, hear him here on 93.7 The Ticket. Early break with Sip and Jake. Read his work at Husker Online as well. Steve, as always, appreciate the time and the insight. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll look forward to reading that when it comes out.
Thanks for the good questions, guys. Take care.
That's what we're here for. We're hard-hitting journalists too. We might not write, but we talk strict. We ask good questions. We're here for it.
We're here for all the smoke. We're happy to be able to have Sip on and just give another take. Early break hears him all the time, so we're just glad that we every now and then get a chance to tell him, "Shut up, Sipple."
That we do. All right, let's take a pause here. We'll cross it over with the old school crew when we get back.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and we are celebrating a record sales month in April, and we're going to let it roll and crank up in the month of May. We have some big discounts and special interest rates going on this month on selected new in-stock Sierras and Silverados. Buy a new Silverado or Sierra, get $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. You heard right, $3,000 off or 1.9% interest. We have outstanding specials on all of our new and pre-owned GM certified units. So stop on in and see us or check us out online at couplecars.com. You'll be glad you did. New discount must trade in and finance with the Roof Credit.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Attention Lincoln. Looking for an effective way to reach the fitness goals you haven't been able to accomplish on your own? Body Fit Training science-based programming is led by multiple highly accredited coaches who will help you get the results you're capable of. Their group of strength training classes are designed to help you build muscle, burn fat, and improve your overall fitness level. At BFT Lincoln, you'll train like an athlete and be surrounded by motivated and like-minded individuals. For May only, get 1 week of classes for just $7 by visiting bodyfittraining.com. Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in May. Try their pesto cream cheese on any breakfast sandwich. And try the Karma Latte, as 10% of proceeds from that drink will go to the Teammates Mentoring Program. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstoRats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey, moms and dads, bring the whole crew to a Salt Dogs baseball game and unleash the fun. Visit Haymarket Park all summer for fireworks Fridays, souvenir Saturdays, Sunday family fun days, and more. With 50 home games, even weekdays can be unforgettable. Planning an event? Make it a home run with group discounts. When you need an outing the whole family will enjoy, unleash the fun with the Salt Dogs. Call 402-474-2255 or visit saltdogs.com for tickets.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Action Heating and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Drove by.
Let's get it. Let's finish
Yes,
out
sir.
On the Block.
There he
strong.
is. There he is. Look at him, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. My main man. I get hype every time I see Strick on the Zoom, on the StreamYard. Strick, we're gonna jump right into it, man. Listen, it was about 15 years I had to deal with my Bills and being alumnus of Buffalo. Dookie and down their legs, just being horrible. Last night, I know you're a Celtics alum, and we texted about it. How heartbreaking, how mad were you as a former player? Because I know, and the reason why I'm asking you, Strick, because I know your mentality. I do. I know if you had kind of basketball rolled your ankle, you would have finished strong like a champion. I know for a fact if Jerron Boone was a little compromised, or Bernard was compromised, Mikey Moore was compromised, Tyronn Lue was compromised, that you would have stepped up to the plate. And I'm just going to focus on Jaylen Brown because he's in with the new CBA, he's potentially going to get, give or take, close to $300 million, right? That was a $300,000 performance. As a former player, Boston Celtics player, doesn't matter how long you've been there, but just being a former NBA player and a former Boston Celtics player, and that's different, right? I always view the Lakers, the Celtics, the Knicks, and maybe a couple of that's kind of like playing for the Cowboys, the Steelers, kind of like the blue blood.
The Bulls. Yeah, you can throw the Bulls in there. Yeah.
Maybe Bulls are kind of low
They're kind of
in Jordan. And you know, Celtics been good since the day it just seems
Right.
from Bill Russell. How much did that hurt you? Number one. And number two, how mad are you considering the opportunity that they had? And it looked like from the first quarter on, Jaylen Brown was not interested.
Yeah, I have it's twofold for me, Jay and Austin, as well as DP. DP, it's good to see you. Shout out to Kenny Wilhite, man. Kenny Wilhite had a great run, man. Shout out to him as he's making his travels to his new
Thanks,
destination.
Rick. You pouring out some liquor for Kenny or something?
Man.
You pouring out liquor for your boy?
Man, for the homie, man.
Some Hendo?
But listen, Jay, this is a crazy dynamic that I have, right? And I'm being sincere. Yes, it was very disappointing, to see the love that my boy Paul Pierce had when he was walking in, as well as Rajon, and that's how serious Boston fans are about their sports. So for them to have that opportunity to come back to TD Garden and to the Garden and really make history and to literally lay an egg like that, it was very disappointing. So that from that standpoint, I'm very sad and disappointed that they didn't give a better showing. There's just no way back at home after you've had a chance that you just score 84 points at home. Like that's crazy to me. Now, didn't even have no fight. And you're right about Jaylen. I just didn't see any fight. I didn't see any fight except for maybe White. Little bit of Horford gave what he could give. I mean, he was scrappy. He was, fighting for extra rebounds. But outside of White, yeah, I didn't see much fight. Ooh, that thing hit different right there. Outside of White, I didn't see much fight. Now, I'm going to be honest, Jay. I was actually rooting for Miami. And I've said this before, and the reason why is I look at that Miami roster and I see a lot of me.
Okay,
so
I can feel that.
Yeah, man, I'm really an underdog rooter, man. And when you look at Strus and you look at Gabe Vincent, what he was able to be for the team, you look at Caleb Martin. You know what I'm saying? You look at them and just what they were able to do in this big stage, in this big situation, man. I was like, yeah, man. You know what I mean? They looked at y'all. They passed over y'all. They thought y'all wasn't able to compete. And y'all came in and did it on the biggest stage against everybody that they paying the big money to. So I was actually rooting for them. Even Bam Adebayo, they wasn't really even talking about him like that. You know what I mean? Then they kicked Love out the door. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't a big impact, but everybody on that doggone team, to include Duncan Robinson, who had a few big shots. He missed a couple though the night before, the game before. But he came back tonight. So that's why I say it's twofold for me. One, I was rooting for Miami, but two, I understand exactly what you mean.
Cool, Strick. What are you going to give we got to pause, right, Austin?
Yeah, let's do our legal ID. Be back.
Legal ID.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Strick, DP in Austin. Answer the question. Yes, I want your opinion. I just want the answer, though, okay? Do you, if you are the GM of the Celtics, break up Tatum and Brown? Is it time? Have you reached the ceiling? Are you willing to chance it that you get let down even more? What I mean by that is losing in the first round or the second round. Do you break them up? Do you break up early, or do you ride it out to the very end?
I think if you look at just how things have kind of fallen off it seems like it's fallen off the wheels. Outside of Tatum, I think they can't move Tatum. I think it's got to be Jaylen Brown that probably needs to move if you're going to require assets. I think one of the consistent players has been White. White has been very consistent, but I'll let DP also throw his 2 cents in on that, because I think it might be about time to do something now. Whether Brad Stevenson is able to pull the trigger to do that, that's going to be yet to be seen. But if he doesn't make anything happen really soon, I think he becomes on the chopping block.
No, but this is CYA territory, though, Strick. You got to move one of them, or they start looking at you why you keeping them so long. So, DP, what do you think?
Since we're in Lincoln, Nebraska, I always land on loyalty over mindless ambition. The loyalty is to get you here and make you relevant. Makes me think of the dude who's been married to somebody that makes their life better and improves their life. But that one, you meet the one that you think can cook and can clean and can raise your kids, who will do the one thing that you think you need and desire. Be careful. Be careful making decisions based on momentary situation at high levels of success. Leave them alone and let them get better in the space that you're already in, because it's much more difficult to restart and get back to where they are right now,
which is on the cusp
of greatness and long-term greatness, because with 2 dudes that still have some run. Even if they don't have run, you're still in the apex. Look,
you're still in it every year.
You're still there. You're still there. You're a play. You're a twisted ankle. Your bad shot selection.
I mean, because it's a viable excuse, right? Tatum's hurt. Now, let me ask both of you this, since we already kind of got there. Okay, you could give or take, right? You can see both sides, right? Listen, we came to a consensus, right, Strick? You can see both sides, because unlike NFL football, in the NBA, you don't start hitting your apex of dominance until 27 or 32. Be honest. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, it's kind of, all right, let me go in here. Let me be an assassin, score a whole bunch of points. Oh, I'm not winning. Oh, actually, I need to start winning for legacy. I got paid 1 or 2, 3 times, depending on where you're drafted. Okay, now I got to start thinking long term. So these 2 guys haven't even got there yet. They haven't even came to the conclusion at one of each other's houses on a Sunday afternoon, maybe having some libations, say, you know what, man, I can't do it without you. You make me better. You know what? Yeah, you're right. This is how we need to do it, right? So now with that being said, right, we're all Brad Stevens, right? We went from the up-and-coming coach to the guru, right? The guy that couldn't figure out LeBron multiple times with 3 Hall of Famers, couldn't do it. Since we're Brad Stevens upstairs now, we got a clear head. This is the guy that I think potentially could bring you back another asset to have potentially your big 3 if you keep the 2. Marcus Smart. because Marcus Smart, I think, in my opinion, has reached his ceiling as far as offensive capabilities, defense. Strick, we'll talk about this if you want to stay the first segment. If not, me and DP will get into it. His defensive liabilities and his choice to go under screens against a hot shooting personnel and team, I think really hurt Boston because it was lazy defense. Do you move him because he still has name brand? He can bring you back somebody. Do you move him in draft picks to try to get a Trae Young, Damian Lillard, like they talked about last night, on a kind of 1 or 2 year deal to say, okay, we got a 2-year window with 2 young guys, along with the guaranteed guy that we know in Game 7, he gonna give me 40 if I need it. Is that a guy you move? Is that a more clear?
Yeah, I Strick. So this is where the Strick factor comes into play,
right?
Because that Celtics team that Strick was on, if you look at the year before Strick, they had some talent, but there was a thing missing specific to what all the things that Strick does well and is willing to do. Marcus Smart offers that to the Celtics in multiplicity. He does a whole lot of stuff that his glamour boys won't do.
But does he do it in 2023? Because he hasn't done it this year to the magnitude that he used to do it 2 years ago. That's why I'm asking.
So if we reset the fire on Marcus Smart, listen, we tell a story. Listen, bro, there are a couple of instances where you went rogue, you went under when we go over. We'll spend the whole offseason with you being in gyms all around America, going over the screen and learning how to do it without fouling, without getting in the foul trouble. Because that's literally his thinking is, if I do it the way they want me to do it, I'm going to have 6 fouls. I ain't going to play much. No, bro. That's what they need from you. And that's just a change in thinking and then in high repetition. So then I'd say, look, I want a Marcus Smart, a Strick, a Brogdon on my team for the 82 games that get us there. And then I have to micromanage Marcus Smart in those critical games and pick possessions. All right, call time out. Hey, bro, they coming over the screen. Just I'm letting you know, take one here. Take one here so they know that you'll defend it. That's just micromanaging in big situations. That's on the coach. That's on the coach. That's on the coach. Marcus Smart is who he is. I'm never going to ask Strick not to be strict.
Right.
Like I'm not. I just need to manage Strick in the moments that are critical to our highest level of success, both his and mine.
Awesome.
I think DP said that good, Jay, because Marcus looked tired. He did. He looked tired. Now he's still at a pretty good age. He's in that age range that you've been talking about. But you do talk about, you got to do an assessment on Grant Williams. You got to do an assessment on Brogdon was hurt, so I can't really fault. He wasn't. He was trying, but he wasn't really himself either. But I do like White because White is linked, and I gave a stat a little bit earlier. Facing Trae Young, facing
Maxey and Jimmy.
Maxey and 30% they were shooting, 34%. Like he can do that type of work. And he seemed to be doing it a little bit more effectively at that time. But you're right, Marcus Smart, he has 2 years left. So if you take DP's assessment into account, yeah, he does. He does a lot of things that most of them won't do and wouldn't do. I mean, the fact he was guarding Embiid, at different points in time, and he'll be willing to put bodies on any of them from 1 to 5. And sometimes they'll throw that out there, and it does make a difference. But at the same time, he's going to be probably somebody that could be of value to you with only 2 years left on his contract. It's not crazy,
Right, your bang for your buck would be pretty good. I think my view on Marcus Smart, I think he was more willing a few years ago to do the dirty work, right? I think as he was getting credit for that, right, in stardom and a new contract for that, I think he's lost that identity. Whereas even in the game 6, okay, let's go back to Philly. He took the last shot when he should have kicked it.
Yep.
He took the last shot. White bailed him out. But then when you start to look at this roster here, right, when I'm thinking of Marcus Smart, if we got 2 guys right here that, actually that's a good problem to have. It's like having Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. They'll figure it out, right? That's what the coach's job to do. if there's somebody that you can move because you have two other guys that kind of look like him, Brogdon, Williams, Marcus Smart. Who makes the most money? Marcus Smart. Who's the guy that comes with the most cachet? Marcus Smart. Who could you move to a team that could be I call it a Mr. T starter kit, or somebody that potentially could bring some more edge to a team, right?
You better not be in the East.
Right, but I mean, but what I'm saying is, if it's a team in the West, off the top, maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves to get some scoring power back, or somebody like that, or the Lakers, or somebody like that, to where you need somebody to do the dirty work and that can actually score a little bit. Marcus Smart's it, and then you get a good asset back, and then you keep. So you might not get a Trae Young or a Damian Lillard back, but you get somebody below that. But then you got Brogdon healthy, Grant Williams still trying. He took a real step back this year. Like DP says, those might be a summer-long conversation.
Yeah.
Top right corner, he's Eric Strickland. Top left corner, I'm Austin Norman. We'll be back tomorrow from 2 to 4. The two guys below us, DP and Jay, they have Old School next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska's favorite vape shop.
Generation V.
Providing friendly, personalized service in the large selection of vaporized e-liquid flavors. States.
Generation
V will beat or equal competitors' price. With a selection, great service, and the lowest prices, Generation V is your one-stop shop for all your vaping needs.
Generation V.
With 4 Lincoln locations, visit us on the web at generationv.com. E-cigs contain nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
General contractors, business owners, property owners. The success of your business requires doing business with the right people. And the right people, when it comes to drywall, acoustical ceilings, and specialty products, are at Premier Drywall. Kevin and his crew will give your project the response and attention it deserves.
You'll get all of the attention to detail and quality that you would expect from someone who's been in the business for 30 years. For your new builds, build-outs, or renovations, reach out to Kevin. Kevin at PremierDW.com. Premier Drywall in Lincoln.
It's May, and that means the school year is almost over and summer road trips are on the horizon. Stop telling yourself you'll upgrade your car someday and do it now. Mullen Motors lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride. Summer road trips are just around the corner. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit Action link.
Of June in style. First, this Friday, show off their expanded 3 p.m. with live on Saturday.